Federal government reiterates commitment to ensuring sustainable interventions and projects aimed at boosting development, while accolades pouring for bold decisions and reforms of President Tinubu's administration. Plus, latest in the world of sports. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Welcome to Panorama. We begin with flood mitigation. The federal government has officially launched its 2025 nationwide flood sensitization program, beginning with the distillation of blocked drainages at some flood-prone areas within the Federal Capital Territory. Charles Alpha reports.
Recent rains, particularly those in the Federal Capital Territory, are already showing signs of the anticipated flooding. And because of blocked drainages like this, there are already fears and apprehensions among residents in parts of Abuja.
When rainfall here is very dangerous, let's be sincere. You will see dustbin, see this fantastic all the way from the hill. They should tell you people they should not be dropping it. Palm fruit, the stick, when they cut, they will drop it, they gather it, erosion will bring it. Anything they drop there is coming down here. That is what we experience every year.
This is why the federal government, through the Erosion, Flood and Coastal Zone Management Department of the Federal Ministry of Environment, has commenced the 2025 Flood Awareness and Preparedness Campaign, beginning with the Federal Capital Territory. Part of activities marking the flag off was the distillation of blocked drainages at the Nyanya Market and General Hospital.
Over the years, they've been dumping refuse indiscriminately along this waterway, and at the end of the day, it got blocked through these pipes. So we came in here to demonstrate to the people that what they are doing is actually wrong.
Apart from the General Hospital and Market, those in the motor parks were also sensitized on what to do before, during, and after the rains. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Meanwhile, life is gradually returning to Ovom community in Aba, where residents had endured years of uncertainty due to a devastating erosion that washed away buildings and farmlands. Grace Nana visited the ongoing construction site and now reports.
This street leads to the heart of Ovom community, where erosion has washed away shops and worship centers. The street is equally in a bad shape, with potholes militating smooth ride. Abia State government awarded the rehabilitation contracts to OK and Jewel Construction Company to fill the erosion and asphalt it. The project, which commenced November 2024, has now progressed to constructing adjoining roads in preparation for stone-based laying. Residents who shared their experience recounted how the erosion rendered many people homeless. Mr. John Emeka, a property owner in the area, described his experience as daily nightmare.
Everybody was passing through this. We are passing through Abuja. But now, thank God that everybody now is passing through this way. Through the help of Alex with our government.
The project is expected to be rounded off in 1 month's time. In Aba, Grace Nana, NTA News.
To disease control, the federal government has approved the establishment of disease-free compartments and zones for the production of 1.2 billion doses of vaccines across the board annually, with the National Veterinary Research Institute, JOS, taking the driver's seat. Yusuf Jika reports that this is to enable the nation triumph better as one of the safest and leading destinations for beef production, marketing and consumption in the world.
The National Veterinary Research Institute (VERM) has remained in the heart of the nation's livestock industry for decades, leading key research and discovery clinical solutions to animal diseases. During an inspection tour of some of the facilities at the institute, Minister of Livestock Development Idi Mukhtar Meha said the temper for clinical surveillance, innovation and vaccines will be prioritized.
This new ministry has already had a number of investment proposals from both local and foreign investors, particularly in the red meat industry. There is no way we can approach the international global market of red meat with zoonotic diseases all over the place. We have to be in the position to control all those endemic diseases in this country.
We are willing to turn things around. If given the enabling environment, provided with the facilities, we will work. We will make this institute great. We will make Nigeria great.
The minister also inspected the 200-capacity heifer cows Milkway Dairy Farm Bokos, where he promised to develop a roadmap and reviving the factory.
We must re-inject blood and rejuvenate this area. Milky Way Dairy Farm Bokos must work to provide jobs for our teeming youth.
Definitely with the partnership we are going into with the federal government, as you have heard the minister say, we will revive this place.
A town hall interactive session was later organized in Mangu Town to encourage participation in livestock development and other critical aspects of the industry. In Jos, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Now, talking security, criminal elements around the central naval waterways have been warned to steer clear of the area. The warning was issued by the Commander, Nigerian Navy Ship Sorrow of the Central Naval Command while parading suspects arrested for illegal possession of firearms in Yenegua.
These suspects, including a captain of a fishing vessel and 2 OPC security operatives, firing shots to scare away fishermen who alerted the forward operating base for Moso, a subunit of the Nigerian Navy ship Sorrow. Some arms and ammunition were discovered.
The operation was based on credible information indicating that the fishing trawler was illegally conveying armed escorts who fired shots to intimidate local fishermen operating in Bayelsa waters. During the operation, the boarding team discovered 1 G3 assault rifle, a pump-action shotgun, and several rounds of ammunition.
I didn't know that all these things they have is not licensed. That one, number one. I didn't know until this issue happened. That's where I get to know that all these things are not licensed.
I arrested on fishing boat because of one AK with 1 pumping, because we are the security of the fishing boat, OPC.
The Commander NNS Sorrow, represented by the Executive Officer Nigerian Navy Chief Sorrow, Navy Captain Jerry Ayim Odu, warned against illegal possession of firearms or use of armed escorts by citizens without proper authorization. 3 suspects have been handed over to the Department of State Services for further investigations. In Yanagua, Samuel Numonengi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the FCT Police Command says it arrested 1,611 suspected criminals in the month of April for various criminal offences. Commissioner of Police Ajao Saka Adewale, in a press briefing, said the successes achieved are the result of extensive raids of several black spots across the territory. Onotu Yakubu brings us details.
The highlights of achievements show that the FCT Police Command recovered a total of 21 suspected stolen vehicles, with 15 suspects arrested in connection with the various cases. Commissioner of Police Ajao Saka said the command undertook comprehensive analysis of crime patterns following rise in cases of car theft and drug-related offences, leading to these breakthroughs.
I want to equally appeal strongly to members of the public that will continue to feel security as a collective responsibility. When music changes, the dancing step ought to change. Everybody should be concerned and be intentional about the security of not only their person, including their assets. For instance,
CP Ajao Saka further explained that through credible intelligence-led raid of IDP camp Durumi, Kuje Gudaba Tipa Garage, and black spots across Kubwa, recovered substantial quantities of assorted hard drugs, cannabis, suspected stolen mobile phones, point-of-sale POS machines, 169 ATM cards, fake currencies, and a substantial amount of cash suspected to be proceeds of crimes.
We couldn't have achieved this one alone, but for the collaboration received from other sister agencies. It is this kind of synergy that has resulted in the achievement we are celebrating today.
The police command reiterates that these achievements reflect its unwavering commitment to ridding the FCT of crime and make it a safe place for all to live and thrive. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
To TV production, mass communication students of Skyline University of Nigeria, Kano, have described their experience in NTA as enlightening following their visit to the largest television network on the continent, the NTA. Deborah Balagbobo reports that the students were schooled in various aspects of television broadcast.
Looking at all this risk, what are the practical?
Skyline University students there trying their hands on the sophisticated gadgets and equipment of the largest television network news studio.
This is what you do. If you want to put ambience, if you want whatever you want, that is the editing.
Leader of the group and mass communication lecturer says, having learned the theoretical aspect of the field, it was necessary to engage the future communicators in the practical aspect of what the profession entails.
NTA is another world of its own compared to what we have there. More advanced equipment, and there are, if I look at the cameras here, I cannot even count how many, many of them. So this is the reality.
A great changes and difference from the one we have been to in Kano State.
I observed many things in this special television.
We have less idea about the TV, but now we are taking a lot of the TV aspects with us.
The excursion team was led through the studio, newsroom, and library, among other departments. An experience they describe as an eye-opener. In Abuja, Deborah Balagbobo, NTA News.
In other news, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting inclusive economic growth by supporting small-scale entrepreneurs and driving grassroots economic development. This commitment was highlighted during a sensitization and town hall meeting organized by the Bank of Industry on the presidential conditional grant and loan schemes in Gombe. Nafisa Umar Garba reports.
Micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, are believed to be vital drivers of the economy, capable of bringing about positive economic turnaround. They complement existing medium and large-scale industries, creating empowerment opportunities and absorbing a significant percentage of unemployed population. The Bank of Industry and the Presidential Conditional Grant and Loan Schemes organized a sensitization and town hall meeting with entrepreneurs in Gombe State. The meeting shares ideas on optimizing the scheme's operations with resultant financial support, job creation, and inclusive economic growth.
So far, we have disbursed over 107 billion to almost 900,000 beneficiaries across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. This program is more than a policy directive. It is an investment in Nigeria's future.
So by having this loan on board, actually it will help a lot of businesses to grow in the state.
Beneficiaries of the Presidential Conditional Grant and Loan Schemes in Gombe State reported positive impacts on their businesses, citing financial literacy, job creation, and growth of their businesses as key benefits.
We were able to access the loan of the 5 million naira, and now honestly my business is doing well.
In between 3 to 2 months like this, the loan was disbursed. So before, my business actually is a small mini business, this thing, but now recently upgrade.
The scheme's success stories demonstrate its potential to empower entrepreneurs and drive economic developments. Nafisa Umar Garba, NTA News.
We have more on the presidential conditional grant and loan schemes after the break. To stay with us. You're still watching Panorama on NTA. Nigerians, especially Southeast businessmen and women, have been urged to fully subscribe to the federal government's 200 billion naira grant and loan schemes in order to improve their economic fortunes. The managing director, Bank of Industry, Olashopo Olusi, gave the advice during a one-day town hall meeting on the federal government's MSMEs grants and loans held in Owerri, the Imo State capital.
The presidential town hall meeting is aimed at sensitizing small and medium-scale entrepreneurs in Imo State on the importance of the implementation of 200 billion Presidential Intervention Fund, which is a landmark initiative of President Bola Tinubu's administration to empower micro, small, and medium enterprises as well as revitalize the nation's manufacturing sector.
We are calling on all Southeasterners that they should take advantage of this. There is still room for more businesses to be accommodated within this scheme.
For you to be able to access the FGN MSME fund, you must first make sure you have a registered business with Corporate Affairs Commission.
Some of the beneficiaries commended President Bola Tinubu for making available the grants and loans which they described as a turning point of their business ventures.
I want two people to help me thank the federal government who went me to start up my business again.
The 200 billion naira federal government loan scheme has interest rate of 9% per annum, repayable within 3 years, including a 3-month moratorium. Over 29,000 people from Imo State have so far benefited from the loan scheme.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, says the Bola Tinubu administration is committed to upholding national unity, territorial integrity, and inclusive governance. He made the remarks while receiving a delegation from the Northern Pentecostal and Charismatic Bishops' Communion of Nigeria, led by Archbishop John Praise Daniel. Shehu Mohammed Dati reports.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, urged religious leaders to support the federal government's efforts to promote national security and unity in line with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu believes he can do it no matter the circumstances. He's a veteran, politician and statesman. He believes in our country, its unity, its territorial integrity, and he runs the government that is very, very inclusive.
Archbishop John Praise Daniel commended President Tinubu for establishing the Federal University of Applied Sciences in Kachia, Southern Kaduna, saying it has brought educational opportunities closer to the people.
We have seen a lot of changes taking place, and we know this is just 2 years plus. By the time the president is doing his 4 years, I think we should be able to see a lot more developments taking place.
Prayers were offered during the visit for the continuous success of President Tinubu's administration and the progress of the nation. In Abuja, Shehu Mohammed Dati, NTA News.
To immunization. For more than 2 decades, Nigeria has been providing life-saving livelihood vaccines, with most immunization services offered free of charge at public health facilities. While the number of children benefiting from these services has increased substantially, the country still has the highest number of zero-dose children in Africa and ranks amongst the highest globally. In this report, Oluseye Adeagbo examines the progress and persistent challenges of Nigeria's immunization program, with special focus on child health care.
Nigeria has for more than 20 years been consistently writing new chapters for the child health, especially through our immunization programs, introducing new several vaccines, with the latest being the malaria vaccine, the human papillomavirus vaccine, and the rotavirus vaccine. In recent data of the NPHCDA, the country has expanded access to life-saving vaccines to over 1.7 million zero-dose children, over 6 million under 14 children reached during diphtheria reactive vaccination campaigns, 105,000 children vaccinated with malaria vaccine in 2 high-burden states of Bayelsa and Kebbi, as well as 13.5 million girls aged 9 to 14 years vaccinated with HPV.
It is now time for us to finance those vaccines to make sure that as we introduce them, we have the money to fund them, because there's no success except those vaccines get to the arms.
We're also going to be using tools to make this easier, traceable and measurable. So digitization of the immunization program is going to continue.
While states across the country have their own share of out-of-stock vaccines and other limitations, especially logistics and funding gap, the Nigerian government and partners have been leading initiatives. The latest is the launch of $191 million Health System Strengthening Grants, HSS3, a support project from Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance.
We are really focusing on the communities who are being missed. They're not just being missed by immunization, they're being missed by the health system. And by really drilling down on which are those communities, why are they being missed, what are the barriers we need to overcome.
With a clear commitment and sustained collective efforts, Nigeria is on the threshold of transforming its immunization program and accelerating progress to ensure every citizen, especially the children, gets jabbed promptly. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Talking sports, Nigeria's under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, aiming to secure a quarter-final spot as a clash against Morocco in the ongoing under-20 African Nations Cup in Egypt. Details with Suleiman Musa on Sports Update.
The National Sports Commission has lauded Team Nigeria's dominant opening performance at the 2025 Senior African Wrestling Championships in Casablanca, Morocco, where Nigeria clinched 4 gold medals on day 1 of the tournament. Despite the withdrawal of wrestler Adunayo Adekoroye due to illness, the team produced a flawless display, with all 4 wrestlers winning their respective finals to secure gold for the country. To football, following their 1-0 win against Tunisia, Nigeria under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, will today seek their 57th win in 99 games against Morocco in their second Group B match in the 2025 CAF Under-20 African Nations Cup. 2 decades after their first and only previous encounter at the CAF Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco and Nigeria will face off once again in their second Group B match in Cairo on Sunday. The 2 teams last met in the semi-finals of the 2005 tournament. Elsewhere, Arsenal's hope of securing a second-place finish in the Premier League took a huge hit following a 2-1 defeat to Bournemouth, who claimed their first-ever league double over the Gunners. Meanwhile, at the Goodison Park, Everton threw away a 2-0 lead in a 2-2 draw against Ipswich Town as their winless home run stretched to 6 matches. In the early kick-off of Saturday, Aston Villa kept their hopes of a top-5 finish alive as they narrowly defeated Fulham 1-0 at Villa Park, extending their unbeaten home run to 17 games. And for Sunday fixtures, it will be Brighton against Newcastle, Brentford take on Manchester United, West Ham play Tottenham, Chelsea host champions Liverpool, while Crystal Palace are up against Nottingham Forest. And finally, Aryna Sabalenka overcame a spirited fight back from Coco Gauff to claim her 3rd Madrid Open title with a thrilling 6-3, 7-6 win on Saturday night. The world number 1 Sabalenka dominated the opening set but squandered a championship point in a fluctuating second set as Gauff forced a tie break. There was still little to separate them as Gauff recovered from 2-love to make it 3-3, but a double fault gave 26-year-old Sabalenka the victory. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
Sports Update ends Panorama this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good afternoon.